Hey friends, how's it going? My name's Matt Piney. I'm the head of marketing and business over with Dimm City RPG. We got the team with us. We'll go around the table and introduce ourselves.
So,
Hi, I'm Todd Ward. What's going on? Let's try that again. Uh, Hi, I'm Todd Ward. I'm the game designer for the team. Yeah.
hey, I'm Scott. I'm the artist.
I'm Ian, the developer.
Good to be with you guys. We meet every Monday. We've been working on this project for 3+ years. And today we just want to kind of go over a little bit about our purpose, what we're trying to accomplish with this campaign, where we came from, where we think we fit in the space, and just kind of chat a little bit about it so people can get to know us. So, first thing I wanted to talk about is where Dimm City RPG originated. So, Todd, if you want to weigh in a little bit, and Scott as well, see what you
Sure
guys have to
thing.
say.
Sure thing. So, was it probably 1992? I met Ian and instantly recruited him into my Dungeons and Dragons gaming team. I really didn't have many people that I was playing, but anyway, he became a close friend and fellow D&D'er. And so later on in high school, I would go to his house, which is probably 30 minutes away or whatever. And Scott was always hanging out over there. Scott would listen to us playing games. He would draw, different ideas that he got, and he started creating a world, which he named Dim City. And so that's basically where the game comes from. Anything else to add to that, Scott?
Uh, yeah, I would just draw while they played because I wasn't very, my attention span wasn't very good. But yeah, Dim City was just a series of sketches and characters that kind of ended up in notebooks and boxes over the years. And then in the last 4 years, kind of reemerged when we had this idea to make a game. Todd's been wanting to make a game his whole life. So I said, we got all these characters and this kind of theme. And I gave him the reins to kind of make it a whole and turn it into the Dim City we know today.
We kind of had a base version of this back 20, 30 years ago, and forgot about it, and
Yeah.
we've reawakened it.
So, Todd, well, and Ian, if you want to weigh in. So, you guys have been playing role-playing games for since high school or before?
Yeah, about almost 30 years now, 35 years, coming
And
up
what
on
do what
40.
do you love about it? Where does that passion, or what do you love about role-playing games, I guess is what I'm asking. Go ahead, Ian.
Uh, those were some of the most fun nights of my life when, Todd was talking about coming over to my house and Scott was there and a couple of our other friends would all just be hanging out. And Todd was our resident dungeon master, so he would walk us through some pretty interesting campaigns. And uh, I don't know, just everybody hanging out together, having fun, making making up stories on the fly. Um, that was always just something I looked forward to. It was a cool event. We didn't get to do it as often as we had liked, I think, but it was always a good time when we did.
And we do it for like 8 to 10 hours at a time.
Yeah, we may have missed some sleep here and there.
A bit, and other things.
Where do you think that there is a place for Dim City RPG? What gap are we kind of filling?
Well, the whole point of the design of this game is to make something that's simple, but you can make it as complex as you like. We've got a table where you roll a 20, you're doing what you want to do plus something else. It doesn't mean that you can do anything, but you can do basically what you wanted to do within reason, plus something else awesome happens. And then you got 11 through 19, where you do exactly what you want to do, within reason. And yeah, you pull that off, perfectly. You've got a 6 through 10, which is a hard choice. You do what you want to do, but something else happens that's not what you wanted to happen. And then 2 through 5 is an absolute failure. You fail, and maybe something bad happens. Then natural one, everything goes wrong, and you fail, and then something really terrible happens because of your attempt. So you've got that simplistic system, that you can have one d20. Damage is built in if you're attacking, depending on your weapon, normal hands, hands and feet. That'll give you one damage. You're using, a hammer or something like that, or you're using blaster, it's 2 points of damage. And then other weapons may give you more damage. Other weapons may give you some other added benefits. So everything's added into one roll, which is awesome. You're playing a system like D&D, and you need 7 different dice. That's a lot of math to keep track of, and it slows things down quite a bit. Like Dungeons and Dragons, even whenever we were playing second edition, a round could take 10 minutes for 3 or 4 people. That's just too long. These rounds go through real quick as long as everybody knows what they're doing. So creating something cyberpunk, creating something that's using augments, that's using blasters, that's using all this futuristic technology, but keeps everything moving real simple, real quick. And as a dream master, you can make stuff up as you go. If you know how the math works, if you know how the game works, it's very, very easy to improvise. Anything else, gents?
It's easy for everybody.
I love when you always say, and we point out that it's what's the phrase you say where it's like, well,
Crunchy.
it's attractive, it's crunchy, but it's attractive to beginners, which I've found, and it's also deep enough for the what veterans, chiseled veterans, is that
Grizzled
grizzled?
veterans.
Grizzled's the word.
Crizzled and jiddled.
Chiseled ones too. Why cyberpunk? I mean, I'm super glad we went this way. I love technology. I think with what we're doing and the parallels of the current world and with what we're doing and how everything kind of works, like I'm just super glad. But were you, and I guess this is for Ian and Todd mainly, but were you guys always wanting to do cyberpunk?
This isn't cyberpunk, it's creature punk.
It's
It is
true.
creature punk,
It's
but
true. It is our own
we
beast here.
we take a lot of inspiration from the cyberpunk games. So that it's one game that I never really played, but I read. I've always really been interested in fantasy. I love D&D and the Forgotten Realms, all of the different box sets. Like whenever Planescape came out for D&D back in, was it 93 or 90, maybe 94? I think that's when that came out. It was just like, wow, you can play in this one setting and then go to any other setting that you want to. That's one thing that I really, really enjoyed about it. But like the whole cyberpunk aspect of things, like the thing is it's kind of pigeonholed in human beings. Shadowrun, they've got some other creatures and stuff like that in Magic, but man, that system, like running that system, even though I could run second edition, like I just could never wrap my head around it and jump into that. And Cyberpunk's the same way. There's a lot of rules to it, and it's just super complex. Like I didn't have the headspace to learn a whole different system that's completely different. Second edition at the time, or whatever it is that we were using, because our second edition was a bit different than how other people played.
As far as the book itself, let's talk a little bit about the progress that we've made so that people know where we're at with everything in development in regards to the book. So if we want to give a little background on how far along we are. Todd, these are for you mostly.
Okay, pretty much, yeah. That's pretty much for me. So the book really has its foundation in a game called Quest. And so that's like a 220-page book that tells it all about how to play that particular system. And a lot of our rules are pulled straight from there using open source. But we've added in a bunch of other stuff. The book that we have that we're kickstarting right now is basically finished. The one thing that we're waiting on for real is art. We're continuing to do the layout. We've got a lot of the layout finished, but as we add art, we're gonna have to switch stuff around a little bit. But we should definitely have everything ready to go, and we're not expecting any drags. We're expecting everything to be ready by June of 2026. The book itself is basically 100% written. There's tweaks that I'm doing, there's editing that we're doing, but the content is there. And we have 8 different specialties. We have all the abilities laid out for that thing, 6 different trees for most of the specialties. The Wire Freak has 8, because of course skill monkeys need a skill monkey. And then I think maybe the Techno Sorcerer is going to have an additional one dealing with cybernetics. But that's maybe another thing that I'm going to add. That I
How many
probably will
pages
have
we
to add.
looking at on this thing?
250. 250-ish. Yeah, it should be around 250. I don't want to make it much more than that.
Yeah.
It's
And
a good
the
time
majority
to-
the,
Oh, go
the,
ahead.
the majority of that, the majority of that is abilities. The rules are it's a very small section of that.
It's a good time to point out that this is our team. We meet every Monday, as we have for the last 3 years, just building. We don't have 30 artists on the team. And so actually to talk a little bit,
We got one guy.
I know we got one guy and he's
We
up
got
there
one
in
guy.
red. And he's been doing a heck of a job. Scott, what has your journey been like? Anything you want to weigh in on the art side of things? What you enjoy about and doing the art for this, or
Well, it's just
kind
right.
of stuff?
It's just right up my alley, I guess, since it's adapting the stuff that I had started in high school. Um, I've always drawn cats, monkeys, and rabbits are kind of my go-to for a lot of my stuff that I do. But it's been fun. It's a lot of work for sure. I've learned a lot doing this. Some discipline I've learned, going outside of my comfort zone for sure. I'm not a commission artist. I just kind of do what I do and whatever comes out. So for me to get a specific task to complete it, it's been challenging at times, but I've only learned and I've gotten better at being able to do something that I'm asked specific. This has been a good learning a lot in these last 3 years for sure. So it's been great.
Well, you're doing
And
a job, bro. Knocking stuff out.
your product just gets better and better.
Yeah.
Yes.
The more and more this challenges you
like,
do.
yeah, I'm happier. Yeah, I'm happier. I look back at stuff from 3 years ago and I'm wanting to redo a lot and stuff. So yeah, it's been nothing but positive end result, so it's been good. I'm looking forward to seeing it, that book done, seeing all our hard work, in our hands. So
It's getting there.
yep.
I just wanted to weigh in on it because I've known Scott since we were like 6 years old or something.
Yeah.
And back in the day, he was always one of the best artists in the class. It was like you and Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like it was really cool because we used to like write stories and then be like, hey, Scott, draw this. And to be able to put out a book with one of your best friends that you grew up with and 2 new best friends that you've known for the last 10 plus years, it's just really awesome. I can't wait to have the book in my hands as well. And that's a big part of my push on this is being able to just be a part of that. You used to show me old compendiums and stuff, and I just totally dug that. Like you'd always show me these cool books. And I'm just like, you need this. Like I want one of the copies. But I mean, yeah, anyways, I love you, Scott.
I really want to see this book in lots of people's hands, more than ourselves. I want people playing this game. I think it's a fun game, for somebody like me who can't my attention span sucks, but it's more improv, more storytelling. It's fun. So yeah, I can't wait to see people playing this thing.
Yeah, attention span is something that I think all of us have some difficulty with, maybe.
Yeah.
So I've gotten a lot of discipline, working on this. I've gotten myself into a rhythm where I have to work on it for at least 2 hours a day, or I can't sleep at night.
Yeah.
So that's been an interesting thing. Yeah, but the one really good part about having one artist is that there's consistency. Like kicking back to Planescape, that was originally art. The art was originally done by a guy named Tony Ghitarzelli, I think is how you pronounce his name. But he was the only artist that worked on that thing, and it was just cool as hell reading through those that particular campaign setting because everything was set in his art.
Hmm.
And so, having the same thing going on with Dimm City, where everything's got the same vibe done by the same person, and checking out different pieces in the book that match the vibe of the chapter, I think is really cool.
Yeah, I used to love
We're not,
looking at his artwork in those
yeah,
Planescape books when you guys were playing. I would love thumbing through those, and his art stood out for sure.
man. So we're really trying to capture on that vibe of having consistency and one person doing everything. Everything matches, everything lines up, everything's the same vibe and the same look. I think that's
Yeah,
an important thing. We're not hiring out 20 other people.
not yet.
Not yet.
I think Scott wants to help.
When we do that, it's gonna be a measured thing. That's for
Sure.
sure.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully we expand and grow, and you know we can bring some other writers and other artists and all kinds of people into it.
That's a great pivot to what kind of outlook or what hopes we have for the creativity that other writers, artists, anybody could bring to the game. Do you guys have any, I don't know, does anybody have any, oh, this would be so cool. I can't wait till this happens, or whatever the case may be. Um, does that make sense?
Yeah,
So
I mean,
you're talking about community and building
Yeah.
community, people starting
Yeah.
to put their own stuff out there. Yeah, I mean that's really what we're all about. Is we see somebody who's got a good story, and they catch they're picking up what we're laying down. Um, we would love to put our seal of approval on that. That's for sure. That's one thing that big game companies don't do. Is somebody creates third party content or whatever, and they're just like, oh yeah, that exists. I would really like to recognize the people that are creating for Dimm City and give them that recognition in saying, hey, yeah, we've checked this out. We approve of what's going on.
yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what other people's versions of things will be, characters that people create, and I'm looking forward to seeing art and writing from people who love the game. And there will be a lot, hopefully.
This world is wide open.
Yeah,
There's not just Dimm City. There's other cities like it in the Mist. There's a whole monoverse to explore and create for just so much possibility.
We kind of, yeah, we come from that ethos of open exponential creativity when there's more people with input. I'm really excited for to see like streaming gameplay when we get to that part of things, where that becomes more of a mainstay, and seeing other people playing the game, as you have all echoed. We're a traditional tabletop RPG game. So we want people to be able to play this with the book, sit at the table, traditional style, and play the game. However, for people like me, I love technology, and we have some access to some beta tools that are going to be a part of our campaign. So I want you, Ian, to talk a little bit about some of the tools that we're working on. These are beta tools, and just give some input on your journey in creating these things, if you would.
Yeah. So I think, nowadays there's most people are familiar with D&D and Beyond. It's Wizards of the Coast's, app or website where you're able to go and manage characters, read up on spells, look up abilities, that sort of thing. So pretty early on in the project, I was really inspired to try to put together something very similar, but tailored to Dimm City. So we have put together, again, early beta version, but an application where you are able to sign in with your account, create your character sheets, print those out, adjust your abilities, look up, different details on those abilities. Where we've had ideas about how to integrate, custom character images and things like that. So lots of work still to be done on it, but I'm really hoping that by the time the book is, or the Kickstarter wraps up, that we can start giving people access to the beta and just getting some early feedback, seeing what people like, what they don't, what's broken, because there's certainly broken pieces. But it's also kind of just a pet project, for me. Like it's a passion project. I like building software. It's what I do. So building software for something that a creative activity instead of a business process or some other boring technical stuff. It's been a nice change of pace to just be really creative with it. Early on, I broke away from my standard web layout. Let's make everything look the way every other website looks. So it's just been a neat creative sandbox for me to kind of do some things technically that I wouldn't be able to do in my normal 9 to 5 job, and then contribute to this project in a different way because I'm not an artist and I'm certainly not the game expert. So I try to contribute in those areas and when I can, but just trying to kind of put my techie spin on it.
Well, you undersell yourself because you're a badass, and we've seen the stuff you've built, and it's awesome, and it's only going to get better. And we also should note we have one dev, just like we have one artist and one writer,
Yeah.
whatever it is I do. No,
One
but
business guy, yeah.
learning business guy. But seriously, in the tools that we have used, I just think people are going to dig them. They're only going to get better. And yeah, I'm pretty excited for all that because I'm not the kind of person that I want to be able to look up abilities, specialties, and be able to kind of just go that fast route. But that's just me. Again, we don't make this game so that you're pigeonholed to have to adopt technology. That's not ever going to be the approach that we take. But it's nice for people, someone like me that really enjoys that side of it. I nerd out on that, and I think it's great, and I think people are going to love it. So, and again, like you said, feedback's huge. That goes for our whole project. Just on our Kickstarter page, we've got lots of feedback, and it was things that we kind of didn't see, and we implemented pretty much most of it. So, yeah, we're only as good as the community and the players and the feedback that we get, and then we can decide what kind of fits with the vision. But as far as the funding is concerned, none of us have been getting paid for the work that we do. This is a passion project. But what will this funding allow us to do moving forward? Let's say we do blow the doors off this campaign, hopefully. And let's say we don't.
If we don't, the book's still coming out regardless. It's going to be a lot more bare bones than it would be if we had extra funds to put into it and create new maps for it, create all the stuff that we're doing with the stretch goals and things like that. But it's still coming out regardless. So still be able to buy it, people still be able to play it. We're still running the game.
What if
we do blow the doors off of it?
Leave it to your imagination.
More books, merchandising, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been trying to get us to make figures. And so that's something that we can get into, with our next campaign or whatever, is putting some of those people's
Yeah.
The high color maps. That's one thing that I always dug whenever I bought a system, bought a campaign setting, was checking out the maps, the poster maps that came with it. So we get to that point in the stretch goals, we're gonna have some badass maps put together. Scott doesn't like the maps that he draws. I think they're pretty good, and they could be, if you put some time and effort into it, they could be badass enough to make him happy about his own work.
I'm not a map guy, but yeah, I mean, I'm my own worst critic, so
yeah,
he does way better than I do. That's for sure.
Me too.
And as far as the website of things, I think having a character builder is a great thing for onboarding new people. Like, you want somebody to be able to play your game that you're setting up, for a group of people or whatever. Having an easy to use character builder where they can do everything they need to do and then just print up a PDF or have it on their phone or whatever, these days it's a really good thing. Everybody has technology in their pocket. You can play a game like this without even really needing a physical copy of the book, which is awesome. Back in the day, going to Ian's house, I would have like a camping backpack,
Yeah.
a camping backpack full up of books. I would have like a Tupperware container too that I brought along with that. And it's just like, man, that's a lot of stuff. But that's traveling with a full complement of stuff, depending on what you're doing. I was always improvising, so I needed a lot of stuff to pull from. I was like, oh, this would be good. I'd have that book on hand to be able to check it out. Nowadays, you can just pull up Google Documents or whatever, and you can look your stuff. So it's good. It's good to have that ability to look at old character sheets that you've got saved on the site, or to be able to participate in a campaign, that's fully online, using the portal that Ian's created.
Did
Got
we
a
ever
dice
talk
roller in
about,
there.
did we ever talk about just having an app eventually with all that integrated into it?
I mean that could be another step we take. That's for sure. I think we have talked a little bit about that.
So I have a
Todd,
major
please
announcement.
speak for the dev. Go ahead.
If
Yeah.
you pull up the website and you click the install button, it becomes an app.
It does.
That's how quick he is, guys.
Done.
He
Done.
just
I didn't even
did
use
that.
AI.
He just did that.
I just did it.
He just
No
did
hands.
that.
You're welcome.
That's how good he is.
And just to note, we do have the character creator. We do have the dice roller. We do have these things. They are going to be usable. There's parts of it that aren't like correct. I mean, am I speaking for you? I mean, I've used all these things and they're pretty awesome. I don't know about the searching for all the skills and abilities and building your character that way. Is that all going to be in place? I'm going to hold your feet to the fire.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be where I want it to be on the day of launch. I'll tell you that much. There's going to be features missing that I want to add. But my goal is to have it at least workable so that fans can go create an account, find the abilities, select their specialty, get their inventory together, and then either print that sheet out or just save it on the website. So that whenever they go to play the game, they don't have to, get out the pen and paper and open the book and thumb through it.
The bones are there.
Yep. And we have tested the Dimm City portal that Matt was talking about, where it's a custom VTT for those familiar with the digital tabletop role-playing world. Admittedly, that is very, very beta, very alpha status, actually. I don't expect that to really be functional to a point where I want to release it to the public at the time of launch. But to kind of go back to your earlier question, if this launch goes really, really well and we end up getting more funding than we're maybe anticipating, that's definitely something I would like to do, is invest some time and money into, finishing that VTT and or creating plugins for other existing VTTs, such as, of course, I'm drawing a blank now.
Roll D20, things like that.
Yeah, Roll20. There's a couple other open source projects that allow you to, build plugins for their VTT. So that's definitely something I would be interested in doing, is bringing Dimm City RPG into other existing tool sets. So, instead of just playing D&D 5e or whatever, you could select Dimm City from the drop down and it would have, our roll charts and, quick access to rules and that sort of thing. So definitely a lot of things I would like to do in the tech side of things. And as the community grows, I hope we find other developers who are, like-minded and want to contribute to some open source stuff. Because that's the other thing, is I am going to release all of this as open source so that other folks can either contribute or customize it if they're also developers and want to go that route. So getting on a tech ramble now, so I'll shut up. But yeah, lots
That's
of things in the works. I am hoping to have kind of bare minimum functionality for character building and ability lookup and stuff like that ready.
But for the record, I wasn't saying launch, bro. That's 5 days away. I was thinking just down the line, by the time we're ready to, fulfill this book and the campaign and everything, second quarter. We
Yep.
should definitely have our character creator and all that will be in place. That's what I meant. I didn't say 5 days from now. Where are you at, bro? Let's go.
Yeah, I know. Well, you saw how fast I built the app,
That's
so
Yeah.
Right.
it'd be
that was quick. Oh,
And this is just the first step. Like when I started writing this book, it changed into three. We've got a setting book that's going to have some DM information in it as well, and then we've got a monsters book that kind of grew out of it as well. So we've got plans. Currently we've got four adventures that I have in notes, and one that is really solid that's almost ready to be published. So I mean, we're coming along. We're gonna have another adventure that's for all the people that are giving us $1 for early access, VIP access, and all that. So I mean, we're coming up with a bunch of stuff, and I've got a lot of ideas that go beyond that. And people start in the community start putting stuff out. Like I would be happy to partner with some people and work together to make their idea canon. I think that's something that I'm really excited about as well. In the field guide, there's a framework for building cybernetics. There's a framework for building monsters. So you've got two really easy to use formulas for creating your own stuff, and I spell it out very clearly how you do that in the book. So this is a game where if you want to make your own stuff, like make it, put it out, share it with us. And if I see something that's interesting, hey, make that canon. That'd be a great thing to have. And I'm just trying to keep things simple because coming from second edition AD&D, coming from um, games like a Shadowrun, coming from games like Cyberpunk, like there's a lot of crunch to it. So like making things as simple as possible, easy to run as possible, plug and play, I think is really where we need to go. But if you're playing with a group that doesn't like, too simple, you know, too quick or whatever, I don't know why I really dig that. But you
if
can
you just
add
want more
crunch to
math.
it. Yeah, if you just want more math, you can add crunch to it all you want. But like that's something that I'm trying to keep away from. It's hard to teach people if people just have to understand a basic set of rules to be able to play the game, and then you add in some cybernetics or something like that to it. I think that's great. But you could go deep, you could go super crunchy with this if you really wanted to.
I think we've covered a lot. This has been fantastic. Again, I love this team. I can't wait to continue building with all three of you, and then anybody else that comes into the fold that wants to add to the creativity and make this just as cool and fun as we can make it. So that's it. Back our campaign, please. We would love it. We'd appreciate it. It would just help people do what they love, and that's what we're trying to do. So that's it.
Big thanks.
Everybody say
Appreciate
bye.
y'all.
Thank you.
Bye. See y'all on Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday it is.
Yeah, Tuesday,
Yeah,
the
Tuesday.
14th of October, we are launching. It's at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 Eastern. That's when our Kickstarter kicks off, and it'll be going for 30 days. In the first 72 hours, you can get early origin art pieces from our head artist, Scott, that he put together that are pretty awesome. So get these digital art pieces, just a little something that we wanted to put out there for the early contributors. But if you're late to the campaign, you could always do it as an add-on because we're not trying to leave people out with anything that we do. So that's it. Awesome. Everybody have an awesome day.
Thank you. Bye.